Christmas time is almost here, and for NAI football fans, it's just about Christmas time. Shout out to everyone who is an NAI football fan tonight, as we're going to be talking about the NAI National Championship Series, Football Championship Series, and the semifinals tonight. We're going to talk about that briefly. So let's get into that real quick. Shout out, Dave. Let's go ahead and let's throw that up. I like saying that. I don't know why. Anyway, roll Stangs. We have freezing rain, hoping that everyone can make it to the game safely. You know what I was thinking about you all earlier this week, Dave? I saw a picture from a Grandview practice there in Des Moines, and it looked like it was pretty chilly outside. So shout out to all of you guys on that, hoping for a safe trip for all of you guys that are making it from Sioux City over to Des Moines, and all of you all who are in Des Moines who are just trying to make it to the game. So I hope that everything goes well for you. I'm Joey McWilliams here on Midwest Sportsnet. Let's talk some NAI football really quickly. You may have seen my decoration here, and I'm proud of this one. Let me make sure I get that wrapped up there. Can you see this? Okay. Somebody tell me in the chat what this is, because this is like one of the coolest gifts. And my wife and my son got this for me not long after I was out of the hospital. They thought this was something really cool, and I would really dig this. So somebody tell me what this is. If you know what this is, it needs to balance a little bit more. There we go. Little 3D look right there. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to get a little dangly into the shot. That's okay. We're just going to have to deal with that tonight. Hope you are doing well. Already with the one cough drop tonight to make sure that we're going well on a Friday evening. I know it's a little bit different time. I've been to one graduation at Southeastern Oklahoma State University tonight. I'll go to another one tomorrow, part of being part of the faculty. So that's kind of neat. It's fun saying I'm a part of a university faculty. So we already have plans for the sports media class for the spring. It is going to be really cool. And you may even on this channel get to see one or two of the students, maybe more. Who knows? Let's talk about NAI football now. I know it was personal, so I had to throw that one out there. Dave. All right. Since Dave, you know what? We do have to find here is a budget for prizes. That's something for 2025 we have to find. It is exactly a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Thank you for recognizing that, Dave. Charlie Brown, one of my favorites. I'm a big Peanuts fan from way back. Charles Schultz is just, he was the best. Absolutely the best. And there are 3 Christmas specials that we will watch here in the Midwest Sportsnet house year in and year out. The top 3, as far as I'm concerned, man, I'm going to sneeze on top of this too. Excuse me. Sorry, there had to be a mute button, but it was the mute button was covered up by the Christmas tree. I couldn't get over there to it. All right, here we go. That's for the outtakes. Anyway, let's see. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rankin Bass, and then How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated version, and of course the Charlie Brown Christmas. And I learned to quote Luke 2:8-14 from watching Charlie Brown Christmas, and I can tell you exactly what it says in those verses, because Charlie Brown asked Linus, "What's Christmas all about?" And Linus says, "Lights, please." And then he goes on to say, "And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field," as he had his little blanket with him. We won't do that tonight. I got to get to the football. Maybe we do that another night, and we talk about that then. 2 games on tap, and they are big games. And I waited to give my picks in the prediction there on Discord. Some of you all are fans that you're on the Discord too, and keep that in mind. I'm not winning, but at least I got 3 out of 4 right last week. I did pick one road game right, and this week it's tough to pick against the home teams. It's really tough to pick against the home teams in this one, so we'll see where we go. And let's talk about the games first. Home game that will have, I believe, that I was told by Michael Brooks that it would be 78 degrees at kickoff tomorrow. Fantastic in West Palm Beach, Florida. Great place to get to watch a game. So Benedictine coming in 11-2, Kaiser 11-0. This is the first time these 2 teams have met. The Ravens really have made their presence known in the playoffs under Coach Joel Osborne. Fantastic. and he did what he needed to do separately. Two different games, they made adjustments as they needed to. I think the halftime adjustments were big in both games. It was very evident in the Texas Wesleyan game how big the halftime adjustments were because the Ravens were trailing by 10 at the half. They made the adjustments, especially on defense. The offense finally got going. The offense got going early against Indiana Wesleyan, and yet at the half, the defense just buckled down that much more. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. I'm going to throw out offensive numbers, though, for Benedictine because they're scoring at a pace of 44 and a half points a game. That's an incredibly large number, sixth in the NAIA. Jackson Dooley has thrown for now 3,959 passing yards on the season. That 304 and a half yards a game is good enough for fourth in the NAI. 59.7% completion percentage there, but 38 passing touchdowns to 11 interceptions, and he has 6 rushing touchdowns as well. So props to what Dooley is doing. He got a little help from Dalton Witherspoon, and I think the Witherspoon factor has been as big as anything in the playoffs. The numbers aren't there. It's the consistency. They keep going to Witherspoon, and Witherspoon finds a way to get positive yards every time. Whether it be 1 yard, 3 yards, 5 yards, or more, Witherspoon has been consistent in not getting caught in the backfield. He's been able to make his way through. The line has opened up holes for him, but Witherspoon he's adjusted. He's been able to go to the line, spin around, get to the outside if he needs to, or just go straight up the middle. Dooley's had a lot of help in the backfield. And then, of course, Jacob Gathright, when you talk about him, you talk about Jayshawn Todd, these receivers, they're just absolutely, they have gotten it done. Gathright now the all-time leading receiver for Benedictine. So I think you have a lot for Benedictine's offense, but they're going to be going up against a very, very, very tough defense. And Michael, hey, glad to see you're in there tonight, in the chat tonight. Shout out to Michael. Shout out to Dale, who's already given me the roll stangs tonight, and hoping the ice won't be too bad to get there. Yeah, I really do. I feel for you guys. I'm a Southern boy through and through. I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. And if you know where that is on the map, it doesn't get much farther than that, and you're still in the United States. Lived there for a number of years. Have been in Southern Oklahoma for most of my life since then. And man, I just I don't want to deal with that ice. I can drive on the ice, but you guys are probably good at it, Dale. You guys have done it for a while. But I hope everyone's safe. So we'll be praying for that tonight, that everyone does make it to the game safely. Now, back to the Kaiser game really quickly. Kaiser's giving up 18.8 points per game defensively. That's just into the top 20. So it's a number that's there. The defense, though, it's not the points that the defense gives up. It's the fact that they do what needs to be done. They bow up when they need to bow up. There are points that are given away every now and again. A big play here and there that is given away, but you won't see many big plays over the course of the game against this Kaiser defense. And that's where it really kicks in. You might get one, you won't get more. And when you get closer and into the red zone, the Seahawks, I mean, and again, there's that phrase, they bow up. They are not going to allow you to get that extra yard or two when you need to get in there defensively. So the Benedictine offense against the Kaiser defense probably that's the matchup that I think is going to be the tough one on the day. Where it goes the other direction, and I don't know, I may make some Ravens fans mad at me here on this one. I think the Kaiser offense is just a little bit too tough to be stopped. What Shea Spencer's done after coming off a year of injury, we had the opportunity to visit with Cyrus Wittig a couple of days ago here on the channel, who's the voice of the Kaiser Seahawks. He's been able to come back in, and he stepped in from being out in 2023 when the Seahawks won the national championship. He comes back in, finds his place, and is just leading the team once again as he did 2 years ago before he was hurt. He has made an impact and is doing a fantastic job. Just less than 2,500 passing yards for the season, but it's the completion rate, and it went up even another tick since we were last talking about it. 70.8% passing completion percentage. 25 passing touchdowns on the year, a couple of rushing touchdowns as well. You have Andrew Burnett in the backfield, now 100-plus yards per game in 5 of the last 6 games. He got only 95 last week. in the victory for Kaiser, but he's had at least one rushing touchdown or more in the last 6 games combined. He's rushing at a clip of 6.3 yards per rush and 112.6 yards per game. So you have Shea Spencer in the backfield, joined by Andrew Burnett, and then you have that solid defense. And where I think the key is here is that Kaiser's offense has the potential and has done it this year, score in bunches to get the not just 7 points, but go on a streak to get 10, 14, 17 points in a stretch and pull away from another team. We've seen in the playoffs so far. We saw it in the latter part of the season. Early part of the season, tough games for Kaiser, still came out unscathed. I mean, you have 2 Division II opponents that Kaiser went out, took on, played, got the job done. Then you have a tight game against St. Thomas, a tight game against Southeastern. And from that point, it's been Kaiser all the way through, jumping out, getting out ahead, and keeping that lead. So I think where this game can be won on Saturday is Kaiser's offense ahead of Benedictine's defense. Now, again, we've seen Benedictine make the defense adjustments. We talked about that from the outside. At the half, if Kaiser does take an early lead, a 10-point lead, a 14-point lead, or more into the half, we know the Ravens can make the adjustments. Can they do it, though, and match up against the Seahawks and what they bring to the table on offense? So I think it's going to be a tight one where it goes up offense, defense, Benedictine's, the Ravens offense versus the Kaiser defense. They're not going to give up much. They may give up 1 or 2, but not much. Where Kaiser wins the game is to just simply outscore their opponent. And I know, cough drop. And I know that, people say before, and I remember I was broadcasting a game one time. I've been doing radio and television, internet broadcasts now for 24 years. And the play-by-play guy, a friend of mine, asked me, well, Joey, what's it going to take for Southeastern to win this game? I said, well, they're just going to have to outscore their opponent. Well, of course, they're going to have to outscore their opponent. But I think that's the key in this one. Kaiser outscores Benedictine for a win in this one. It's the offense that takes control. Midwest Sportsnet is picking Kaiser in this game tomorrow. So I've been with with Benedictine. Let me say this again. I have picked against, there we go. That's how I want to say this. I picked against Benedictine now for 3 consecutive weeks. Twice I've been wrong. Will I be wrong a third time? Not real sure about that. The Burnett kid is a beast. Scrambled eggs. You've been posting that one over and over again. Are you sure? You sure that Burnett kid's a beast? I think he is too. He's definitely gotten the job done for Kaiser. So we're picking Kaiser in this one. All right, let's go to the other game and scroll really quickly. In the meantime, let me say, hey, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. It's what I have heard is called lately a vanity metric. It just looks good. And the main thing is that people watch the videos. Well, I hope that you all watch the videos, but it is kind of cool to watch that subscriber count grow. So there we go. All right. Do you know we did have some off the field news this week too? Did you hear that Georgetown elevated John Perrin from defensive coordinator to the head coaching spot? Coach Chris Oliver, who has been the vice president for athletics, is going to retain that position and just move to work on that for more of a full-time aspect. And so he's stepping out of the head coaching job, and John Perrin has been elevated there. And by the way, former NAIA coach in Matt Drinkall. Did you hear this? He's the new head football coach at Central Michigan, NCAA Division I Central Michigan. So going up there to coach the Chippewas. How about that? Congratulations to Coach Drinkall on that move. All right, Morningside at Grandview. Another in-state matchup for Grandview here in the playoffs. And, that's I don't know if that's good, bad, or otherwise. I would think it would help to draw a crowd. Definitely, you're going to get the visitors to be able to make the trip. You're able to have visitors from Orange City last week come to Des Moines and watch the game at MediaCom off campus. Not really a neutral site, though, by any stretch of the imagination. Well, you got folks coming from Sioux City this week, another in-state matchup there. I don't know if that surely that helps That would help the gate a lot to be able to do that. I know there are a lot of programs that travel real well. Very impressed with the way Benedictine traveled to Fort Worth a couple of weeks ago. And I would think that a flight to West Palm Beach would be really, really, really fun. Although, can you do those trips 3 weekends in a row? That's where it gets to be a little bit tough. If you're a fan of Benedictine and you have to go on the road 3 consecutive weeks from right there in Atchison, Kansas, and you go from Fort Worth, Texas to Marion, Indiana to out in West Palm Beach, Florida, still lots of fun. And you hope you win and get to go to Durham, North Carolina in the next week too. Anyway, I think that's did you put that in your football travel budget when the season started? That's just what I wanted to know. Michael, hey, by the way, really quickly as we get to this one more from Kaiser. All the videos this week were great. Thank you very much. If you haven't seen the videos, we have a lot of numbers to throw out this week and just sitting around thinking about a lot of things with numbers and coaches and NAIA football. So you ought to check out the channel for that. Morningside and Grandview, 4th meeting all time between these two schools, and all 3 of them have been in the playoffs. Morningside 2-1 all time. And by the way, the winner, this is something else. The winner of this game in the 3 previous meetings has gone on to win the national championship. So there you go. The first time those 2 teams met was in 2013. Obviously, if Grandview won one and went on to win the national championship, the Vikings went undefeated that season. And by the way, took down Morningside 35-0 in that one. And since then, it has been Morningside twice, one time for the national championship. And Morningside came away, obviously, with the victory in that one. So this one, the 4th time. And we talked about this one today, this stat too. I wanted to throw this one out there because I thought it was cool. What these 2 coaches bring to the table are phenomenal numbers. Steve Ryan, 240-46 all time as the head coach, and 83.9% winning percentage. Joe Woodley, 70-5. Let me say that again. 70-5. 93.3% winning percentage. The 2 coaches have combined to go 310-51. That is 85.9% of the games between these 2, and 3 of them were against one another. So that's going to bring the number down just a little bit. Well, no, I take that back. 2 of them were against one another. The other game with Morningside was against Coach Woodley's dad. Still, though, 2 against one another, it's going to take the number down just slightly, but 859, you're batting 859, 85.9%. Those are just incredible numbers. Just wanted to throw that one out there. I mean, it should shock no one that these 2 teams are in the playoffs and playing each other in the semifinals. Morningside's giving up only 12.3 points per game on defense. I don't know what the deal is. Sorry, I had to turn the heat down in here. Got it warm in here. Nose is running too. It's a rough night, but we're going to stay with it. Morningside giving up only 12.3 points per game on defense. That's 6th in the NAIA. Now, they're also scoring at a clip that's tough to stop. 46.6 points per game. That's 5th in the NAIA. They're putting up more than 500 yards of offense a game and giving up only about 250 yards of offense or opponent's offense a game. Doubling up their opponents on the yards gained over the course of any game in particular. Zach Chevalier, 4,416 passing yards. Tops in the NAIA at 339.7 passing yards per game, 67.7% completion percentage there, 43 passing touchdowns to 16 interceptions. Max Huff, 92.8 yards per game, 113 rushing yards per game, 1,113 yards rushing for the season. And Drew Sellen's numbers have just been big all year long. He's tops in the NAIA with 1,658 yards receiving. He's second in the NAIA in receiving touchdowns, tied for second with 16 of them. Had a couple more last week too. It's an offense that's firing on all cylinders right now. Obviously, Coach Ryan knows what to do with a good quarterback. He's had good quarterbacks. And with the national championships, of course, with Trent Solsma, with Joe Dolenchek, stellar quarterbacks led their teams to national championships. I would think for a Zach Chevalier to go from here to there and then make his way over to Morningside, the opportunity for him has just been fantastic. And he's been able to excel, not in his final year either, but the opportunity here with Morningside ahead of him. He could be that next big Morningside quarterback. He's shown over the course of the year he is. But of course, now with Morningside, these things are measured in championships. Can he lead them to a championship? Grandview on offense. Well, Jackson Waring, once again, we've talked about his numbers: 60.1% completion percentage, 2,162 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. And one of the things about Waring is this: he knows when to get rid of the ball, but he also knows how not to get rid of the ball. Only 3 picks on the season. You're looking at a touchdown to interception ratio of 6.7 to 1. That is a huge number, an absolutely huge number. He has 12 rushing touchdowns as well, so 32 touchdowns for the season that he's been responsible for. Has Dalton Van Pelt in the backfield with him, nearly 700 yards rushing, 9 rushing touchdowns. These are 2 offenses that can go. We've seen a lot more from the Morningside offense this year, and again, no surprise there because the Mustangs, that is a part of the Morningside game year in and year out. And I think last year it was a little bit of a blip on that. Morningside still scored, still found ways to get down the field. The 2 quarterback system, bringing different quarterbacks in that were starting here and there. Chevalier really didn't find his place in the backfield, at least not as a starter, till it got down, I think, the final 3 games. So you see a Morningside offense that has gelled from last year into this year and really has gotten the job done. 1 loss on the season, and that was to another team that's here in the semifinals in Benedictine, that by 3 points. Since then, it's been win, win, win. All we do is win. And that's what they've been able to get done. Grandview, with the defensive performance, hasn't had to show a lot on offense, has throughout the course of the season, but hasn't had to show a lot on offense. Let's talk about these 2 defenses now. Morningside giving up, again, only 12.3 points per game. Grandview giving up only 8.1 points per game, clearly tops in the NAIA. It's a Grandview defense that last year, heading into the playoffs, was giving up less than 7 points a game, got tripped up by College of Idaho there. That's where Morningside would probably look at that tape and go, where did they make their move in the postseason to get Grandview off their game in Des Moines? And so can that offense do it? Grandview on defense, led by Jackson Filer, 62 tackles, 23 tackles for a loss, 11 sacks. That's 4th in the NAIA. On defense, leading the way for Morningside, Isaac Pingle, 5 sacks. He's able to bring down the offense, 9.8 tackles per game. That is 6th in the NAIA. So where we look at the matchups here, and I'd look at the 2 once again, look at the different sides of the ball. Morningside on defense, Grandview on offense. Can Morningside's defense hold Grandview in check? Grandview hasn't, over the course of the season, had to rely on its offense that much because the defense has taken care of business. The offense definitely does what it needs to do. But if you know that on average, all you have to do is score 8.2 points a game and you're going to get the win, there you go. You don't have to get as much from that offense in that sense. There were 4 shutouts on the season for Grandview, including in the playoffs too, including last week against another team from the GPAC. This Grandview defense holds its own. But again, we're talking about the Grandview offense. The offense has not had to show out this year. Can they show out then against a Morningside defense that's been able to get the stops, that's been able to do what it needs to do? The Morningside defense giving up 12.3 points a game, and that was with a pretty solid contest against Montana Western. And there have been a couple of big games through there. That's where I think that on that side of the ball with that matchup, I could see that being more of a draw to go back and forth. Where this game can be won or lost then is with the vaunted Morningside offense and the vaunted Grandview defense. Can that defense, which has given up only 8.1 points a game, hold a Morningside offense in check? Now, here's where it gets a little bit sticky because of something that I think it was Dave that said it. It didn't. No. Dale said this. Sorry. Dale said this just a moment ago. It's the weather. How is the weather going to affect a team? And often, and I can't say this, is always going to be the case, but in a cold weather situation, you might find yourself wanting to run the ball a little bit more. Morningside not only runs the ball, but throws the ball well. So what is Chevalier going to do on offense? What are these receivers going to do on offense? Are they going to be able to catch the ball and make the big plays? And I think that the opportunity is there for more than one big play. You get a receiver open Morningside, and you find a way to do that, that route up the middle, inside slant, find somebody to get open, break through a defender or two, and you find a way to get down to the other end of the field. Can you catch the ball in this cold weather? And I think that's the key. If it's a sunny 78-degree day, which I know we don't have, so let's talk about a colder day. The Morningside offense, if it finds its way, as it has this season, in cold weather, as they've had to play this season more than once, if it finds itself, I think it finds itself a little bit stronger than the Grandview defense. It can find a way to get past that defense and find some openings through there, maybe a play or two that either was not run since the opening of the season or hasn't been shown all year long. You find a way to get that extra play or two in there, find a way to get somebody open across the middle of the field, or maybe just that one go route. I think the Morningside offense finds a way to get past the Grandview defense. I believe that's the side of the ball that this game really is won. It's a draw on the other side. It's going to be hard fought, but I would take the Morningside offense ahead of the Grandview defense in this one. So I've already, hopefully, Ravens fans, I hope you still like me. And Viking fans, I hope you still like me on this one. We're taking Morningside in this one. And that is our pick, those are our picks for this weekend. We have Kaiser and we have Morningside on the road. But for Morningside, it's not as much of a road game as it was last week going out to Dillon. So there we are. Those are our picks. It would have been really easy to pick two home teams, I have to tell you, in this one. That one was a tough one, but I don't know. I have an incredibly hard time picking against Coach Woodley in any situation. Did I mention that the man has won 93+% of his games? So this one's a hard one, but we'll see how it works out. Anyway, all right, Dale. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Dale, I appreciate that. That's where we are. So we'll see how this turns out. We have Kaiser, we have Morningside, and we're going from there. I realize that it is still 12 days until Christmas. This is my Charlie Brown Christmas tree, which will now always not only be a part of our decorations at our house, but it's probably going to find its way onto the set here at Studio B. And once we do have our Studio A, at some point in time, we'll go to Studio A, or I think I have another name for it, but I'll save that for the future. This will be a part of the Christmas decoration there as well. So anyway, all right. Anyone have anything else tonight? We have a lot of football. Oh, I've got another graduation to go to tomorrow morning. Thankfully, it's at 9 a.m. Central Time. Which I don't know if I should be thankful for that because we have to get up early and get ready and do all that stuff. But another graduation to go to there. Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet's going to go with me to this one. I have a number of kids that are graduating. It was post-grad degrees tonight, and then it's undergrad degrees tomorrow morning. And I have a lot of kids that I've had a chance to get to teach and get to share with them and hopefully mold them in a positive direction. So I'm excited to get to see them walk across the stage tomorrow morning. I'm thrilled about that. Shout out to all the kids that I've had in class tomorrow. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. But the good news is we'll be out of there in plenty of time to watch a couple of football games tomorrow. And I'm excited about those. So looking forward to watching tomorrow from the comfort of my own home and my own living room. And we'll have it on the big screen TV and we will go from there. It's 78 degrees for the folks there in West Palm Beach. Do we have I didn't look. I guess, hang on. I don't think I have this out here. I may not. Let me check the app really quickly because I do believe I have Des Moines on the app if the internet will show up. Oh, we actually just pulled straight up to Des Moines. It says it's 25 degrees there now. Precipitation. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you know what? I don't know how far you have to drive. Are you already there? Maybe you should already be there. Tomorrow, high of 35, low of 30, and precipitation. Rain and snow. Should be a lot of fun. All right. All the folks that flew out to Benedictine, by the way, hope you're enjoying that one too. Oh, by the way, that was interesting too. We needed to leave. This gives you, if you're Morningside or Grandview and you're going to that game tomorrow, are you already there? That's my question for you really quickly before we wrap up. We're just now at the 30-minute mark. So there we go. Dale says it's 4 hours under normal weather conditions. Yeah, you're going to have to get up earlier than that. Definitely have to plan and factor that in a little bit. I saw, and it was pointed out, and we actually talked about this here on the program, got to visit with Tom Couts, who is the broadcaster for the Benedictine Ravens, and he was telling me they were flying. So they flew out today. So there was not there. It obviously wasn't driving out there. They didn't go to stay for a couple of days. They flew out and they're preparing to get up in the morning and play football tomorrow and just go right back home. So not a lot of extras in this for the Ravens. They've come and they mean business, and so it should be a fun contest down there. Dale, you haven't left yet? Okay, well, drive safely. And let me tell you really quickly, guys, I'm going to be praying for you all tonight, for everyone who's planning on going to these games, that you have a safe and a trouble-free trip. Be wise in what you're doing, okay? Seriously, be wise in what you're doing, and there's always somebody out there who's not being wise. So I always just, pray for God to take care of me on the road and keep me away from those people who are not paying attention and not doing as well as they need to do. So be wise in that. Get up early and bundle up and stay warm, and then obviously have a safe trip back home from that point in time, because I know it's going to be dark by the time everyone gets back home. All right, shout out to Dave and to Dale and to Michael and to Scram on that of the Scrambled Eggs fame, whatever the case may be. Anyway, to all of you watching tonight, thank you very much. Thanks, guys, for all of that. Again, we seriously, and I mean this, when I say I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to pray for you. So know that's happening tonight. Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet and I will pray for you. We have a grandson that is staying with us tonight as one of my daughters is coming down for the graduation too. She has somebody special to her. Shout out to Kelly Lynn Smith, who will also be graduating tomorrow. Shout out to her too. So we have a grandson in the house right now. So I'm going to go hold the grandson and then get some rest, and a big day tomorrow. We'll talk about it a lot more on Sunday night for sure. And who knows, maybe even tomorrow night as well. Lots and lots of fun. Man, this is a fun time of year. So Merry Christmas to all of you guys. We're going to talk some more later. In the meantime, God bless you all. Whoops. Can't let it fall over. God bless you all. Have a great night. We'll talk later.